looking for those boom blooms, finding stun combos, and if they do land one, it is going to be so devastating. There is going to be no HP left ever, and it's all on Space Station finding that CC, finding that control.
Well, if you are just tuning in, this is the decision round of the Battlerite Pro League, and it is a best of 5 maps, win score 5. 5. Lots of 5. And round 1 of game 1 is going to get right underway.
What would you rate this match out of 5?
6.
Oh, boy.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna get a good one here. Honestly, the way BPL has worked this season is even a match against 2 really good teams ended up going one way, like just a 5-0 out of nowhere. So it could be a raffle stomp. But I think
it's gonna be
I like the
5-5.
draft. This draft, a lot of these games are won in the draft, and I think we have not such a lopsided draft, but I think it slightly goes in favor of Space Station Gaming. I think they have good utility and then good just the ability to aggress. Rook Iva just gives you so much ability to aggress with Blossom right there being like. Bloom plays a really aggressive Blossom.
Yes.
It's actually pretty incredible how well he can play it, but finally we are in.
Already, you can see Bloom using those Boom Bloom Seeds as opportunity creation tools. You have to see Heavenly Strike spent just to get out, and now there is not as much utility for this Tractor Beam to come through.
Oh, and trying to get another stun. That's a lot of pressure put on to SIGH. And in a lot of danger here, Ulrich trying to get out of harm's way. Does Dexterian has no answer for it. Dexterian getting eliminated. That Dance of the Dryads, as you said, getting massive value.
Armor break just applied across the entire team. Froster has saturation value, and the tag comes through. There's your first blood of this match. And it's Dexterian, the support, falling.
A lot of big damage coming out, and now in caps, and I'm just gonna throw a rocket in your face. And then on the other side, Iva on the side of SIGH goes down, and a very, not only convincing, but just a dominating Game 1 win.
That was the ideal execution there for Space Station. They have a composition which revolves around finding those stuns, and you don't necessarily need the super long chains. Just the fact that you can force things out defensively by throwing out a Boom Bloom. Right there we saw Arcadian thought he was going to go in, do the typical Rygon start of round thing, and then he had to spend Heavenly Strike right off the bat.
Found a giant trunk in his face.
Yes. And then there were acorns at his feet, and it's like Legos. You don't want to stand on them. He just had to get out of there so quickly. And then when the Tractor Beam comes through, he only has Dragon Palm, which isn't enough to get out of a Tractor Beam radius, as we saw, and he goes down as a result.
Forcing an early zap, but was able to aggress on it. And now Proster wants to go in and just pick on Dexterian again.
This is
Arcadian trying to push through. It's a lot of damage.
Nice.
Proster getting out of it. The Tractor Beam coming in. Does he get the stun too? The stun coming through, coming forward, down. Does he stay alive? Somehow Proster is not dead, but a lot of damage, and then trying to return the Tractor Beam stun, but SIGH gets that first orb.
Yeah, that is exactly what we need to see. Sustain coming through. Chase. Yes, they have a lot of control, but if you can avoid it and just continue to press ever further forward, you can punish them.
Good double stun. They're turning it right around. Almost Machine Gun got a lot of damage on the Proster. He's in danger. Blue keeping him alive somehow. Dance of the Dryads coming out, but not going to get. Does he get it? No. SIGH got the orb, so the value not there on the Dance of the Dryads.
And unimportant actually just stole very important green HP, but they do again stay alive, keep the cycle going, and now it's on Arcadian to find these aggressive openings again.
Pushing back. This is actually a good turnaround, and a machine gun cut a little early on the side of Space Station Gaming, and SIGH get another orb. Space Station pulled back. Does he get the double stun again on the Tractor Beam? No.
Divinity.
Cannot find it. Averse getting a big stun on two.
That's so well managed.
Almost got the kill there. Can he get the trade? They cannot. And pushed around. Space Station turned it around, and they look like they're going to take game 2.
That was so well managed. Arcadian gets the Divinity from the Aegis of Valor, and they instantly put everything they have onto stopping him. The second the response is there, SIGH go, oh no, we need to get value from this ult. They shift their focus. If you're investing everything over to Arcadian far off in this corner, we have an opportunity to burn down Unimportant, who's so separated.
Round 2, the part where Space Station was put on their back foot, and then all of a sudden, a double Tractor Beam stun from Averse, and they just fell onto SIGH, and SIGH couldn't do anything about it. All of their health got obliterated after it looked like Proster was in danger. Bloom kept Proster alive somehow.
Bloom's nuts, by the way.
He is crazy, and Space Station just resilient. They cannot go down easy.
Literally nuts. We will see. Again, Boom Bloom coming through and creating those opportunities. If Unimportant can't provide range DPS during this specific instance, then they're down a major asset for these combos. Look at how split they are.
Yeah, they can't do anything, and a lot of pressure onto Unimportant. They've really shut him out of any kind of engagement. And Proster's just going to run in there, take a little bit of damage, but it's not going to do much for them.
Tractor beam?
A huge tractor beam, maybe? No, they get away from it. Had all of their defensive cooldowns. They want to aggress on this. Proster doesn't have a counter, but he's not in any kind of position for them to aggress. And right now, SIGH's just trying to find a way in. There isn't a way in.
Arcadian is having so much trouble engaging onto Bloom right there. There's the gust. Just to talk to the hand, denied. It's so well done.
Oh, that big machine gun.
Oh!
The first got annihilated. And then on the bottom side, could not get the trade for Proster. Proster coming in close to Bloom, dancing the Dryads, but the zap keeping Unimportant away. A huge in cap.
Bloom spends out.
Right there. Oh my goodness, what a
the gust!
trade. Proster, you're nuts.
Bloom should have gone down, but he spends the gust, reflects perfectly, stops Arcadian in his tracks, and now this is a very winnable 2-on-2.
So they have to pick and choose their battle. They want to end this. Trying to bait something out.
This needs to happen very quickly because Blossom is an absolute monster in sudden death. Rook will just be fueled by that as their opponents cannot continue to dodge. I think if SIGH won this round, they need to find value very quickly.
This one would be huge, and SIGH
they get the in-cap.
And they get the in-cap as well, like you said. Proster and Bloom in a little bit of trouble here, getting pushed back into the corner, maybe trying to bait it out. In-cap onto Bloom. Bloom gonna go down here? No, Bloom gets away, staying alive, a lick of health, but now the team is separated on Space Station Gaming. Bloom somehow staying alive. Pushing him through, does not ult, but Armor Break coming through, and then Bloom goes down, trying to get it. They split Space Station up, couldn't keep themselves alive, and SIGH gets into it.
They needed the value from that ult in order to stay alive. The fact that there's enough consistent pressure, he instead needs to spend that EX on a gust. It's an easily winnable round at that point. Very well done. And very, very good adaptation from SIGH. They did all the things we were saying they needed to do.
It's so hard on the side of Space Station when, even when you get the early kill onto a verse, Proster's up there and he's like, yeah, but I got the trade. That in-cap up at the top was just brutal, and the combo between Rush and the Rock, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts a lot.
Yeah. Machine gun coming through immediately after that Aegis, just as complete denial of any opportunity to escape.
Oh my gosh. Tractor beam coming in, that could be big damage, and it is against Arcadian. Arcadian trying to push through, and now trading against Proster. Proster gets the counter, but pushed away and stunned out of it, and now pressure comes on to Bloom. Bloom's in a little bit of trouble. That's
He's got no outs.
But he can't push out of it. Coming back to bail him out was a verse.
But the fact that a verse sees this ground now creates an opportunity. Unimportant is looking for the orb.
Unimportant doesn't need it, but SIGH does get the orb. Again, coming back in, Arcadian looking for his way into it. He leaps back in, but that's going to be dangerous for him. The parry coming out. The tractor beam, is it going to stun him? No. He finds Dexarian instead.
Very good intervention coming through from Dex just to save the day there. And now Arcadian has created such good opportunities.
Oh, he got it anyway. No, Space Station did get it.
Proster got it. Yeah. Very good smash.
Very good.
And the Condemn coming through. I really like that to stop Proster in his tracks. But it's all flipped now. Space Station went from having to play hard defense against sustained pressure to now launching a machine gun volley from the other side of the map, forcing all defensive cooldowns.
Oh, Proster is hungry. He wants to eat the flesh, and down on the other side, having to find it, cannot, has to rotate out. Tractor beam coming out. This could be deadly. He's all by himself. Arcadian completely separated from his team. The pressure coming out, but he is able to get away. But on the other side, Bloom is 2v1ing this, has all the health to work with, takes out 2, and Space Station Gaming going to go up 3-1 in the rounds here in map 1.
It's gonna give me a magnifying glass. That was such a spread out fight. And it was so, so good from Space Station to create that, because SIGH, they're all about the sustained pressure. When they're working well, it's the entire team kind of doing a tag team situation. One goes in, cooldowns get spent, they fall out, and then there's another to take the front line. They're never allowing that as we get into the second half of these rounds, because they have so much in the way of stuns to cancel out that tag team. You can't come in if you're sitting on the other side of the map in-capped, and then the second they do go in anyway and build that separation between the team, Space Station are there on the punish to create positioning that favors them.
So Space Station will continue rolling. Proster almost got, looked like he almost got a double stun on Rush, which is kind of funny to look at, and he's just going to keep the pressure up here with Rook. Arcadian taking a lot of damage on the backside, too. He can't really take Bloom out that well. He's taking a
that's good!
Stun! Dance of the Dryads comes out and eliminates from the game. Arcadian, Dexarian goes down as well, and unimportant. What are you going to do about it, buddy? You're dead.
Remember when I talked about the ideal combo? We have witnessed it in front of our very eyes. That was everything that could go right for Space Station. And they find it onto one lone Rygon. He's very lonely indeed now.
It just Stunlock Studios.
Yes.
Yep. That's all that was.
Good.
Shoot the cameras, roll, you're dead.
Good plug. Roll credits.
Thanks.
Stud locked.
Well, Space Station's rolling right now. Only one game dropped here in the first map, and they are looking to just take map 1. And this is what we expected out of Space Station Gaming. This is how we expect the world champions to play this game. And already pulling right back onto Arcadian. Arcadian in a little bit of trouble. Bloom.
They're just trying to go more aggressive. Yep. The theory is, well, maybe if we put a little bit more on, maybe we can find more value.
Bloom, please. A lot of damage, and Arcadian, his health, where did it go? Dance of the Dryads coming out already from Bloom. Just so much value, and they got the orb too.
Space Station, get the orb. You cannot make more things happen by going more aggressive because you just have less cooldowns. Arcadian, maybe, but there's the zap there. That's defense. They're fine.
Huge stun from Space Station Gaming. You can't stop these guys. Map 1 gonna go cleanly to Space Station Gaming, just trying to get the confirms. There they are, and a 5-1 beatdown by Space Station.
That was literally everything they wanted, and I think they super excelled because then they got everything they wanted from their opponents as well. Then they created a situation where all of a sudden SIGH are just chasing blindly.
Yeah.
Because they feel like the only thing they have is this sustained damage composition, and therefore the only thing they can do is play more and more and more aggressive.
Combos were way too strong from Space Station. Arcadian's like, yeah, we can put up pressure with Rygon, and it's like, no, dude, stun, stun, stun,
yes.
and 2